Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows. Today I want to talk about Johnny and Clyde. It's an action thriller from Verdi Productions that was directed and co-written by Tom DeNucci and co-written by Nick Princip. It follows a serial killer couple called Johnny and Clyde as they assemble a team of psychopaths in order to pull off a casino heist. Think Suicide Squad type characters in an Ocean's 11 scenario. The film starts off by introducing us to Alana Hart, played by Megan Fox, the woman in charge of the casino and a generally evil person. We know this because after attempting to bribe a journalist and failing, she resorts to murdering said journalist openly. Then we meet Johnny, played by Avon Jogia, and Clyde, played by Johnny Russell. They are an over-the-top Joker and Harley Quinn-like duo that murders anyone near them, steals for no reason, and causes mayhem everywhere they go. Then we jump over to Randall Locke, an ex-cop still suffering from nightmares of what Johnny and Clyde did to his daughter. We see a short little dream sequence and then get introduced to his sidekick one time. The film continues jumping around, introducing characters that are going to help Johnny and Clyde on their heist, the people in Alana's organization, and a mysterious woman named Zhang that appears to save Johnny and Clyde in their moments of need. There are way too many characters and storylines that don't matter, don't go anywhere, and don't add anything of value to the story, like the Zhang storyline. We don't ever learn why she was doing what she was doing, aside from a vague mention of Alana's father. Her character is never explained, and she only ever shows up when they need a convenient save. On top of that, they don't develop any of them. Everyone is the same at the end as they were in the beginning, and the only thing that changed was the situation of the Bakwas. It felt like a lot of wasted potential because there are decent characters in here. The unusual nature of the protagonists allowed room for a variety of quirky attributes and character types, and the film delivers a bit of this, but rarely focuses on the differences. Instead, they all end up coming across as basic psychopaths. The story is also filled with holes, like when Locke lets Johnny and Clyde escape, twice. He had a clear shot and an undying need to kill both of them, he just didn't take it. It also didn't make sense at the end when Alana randomly forgets an important detail of how the Bakwas worked. Up until that point, she had been one step ahead of everyone and showed off a relatively calculating personality. The story is exciting in the same way a train wreck is. Everything is going down the drain, people are acting in crazy dramatic ways, and you can never be sure where the story is going because the film doesn't seem too sure about it either. The cast tries to pick up the pieces, but the dialogue is so wooden and the characters are so stereotypical that the cast struggles to make it work. The five psychopaths are playing over-the-top evil depictions, Megan Fox is just another bored evil socialite, and the only people that stand out are Nick Princip as Butcher and a few of the extras who are asked to give a big fear reaction and knock it out of the park. Nick Princip plays Butcher, another member of the team who's a gentle giant to his friends and a terrifying Viking-like warrior to anyone else. He carries an axe around and switches from poetic and nice to insane and violent with a look. His suicidality was kind of funny, but he's more of a joke character than anything as he isn't given enough time to flesh it out. Visually, there are some nice looking shots every once in a while, but the majority of the journey is a confusing low-budget mess. The film cuts between the storylines frequently without giving any context to what's going on, and it doesn't transition between them or connect them in a consistent or interesting manner. The film is overly sexualized with literal sex slaves who exist purely to entertain Megan Fox's character, doesn't serve a purpose other than to show off how creepy she is, and it takes up a large amount of the screen time. The action is so bad it's almost comedic. If it were Naked Gun, you'd expect them to make a joke out of it. There's also no impact on any of the violence. They'll show you a person punching the camera, then cut to a shot of someone swinging their head back, and then add a little noise of someone being hit. But it looks fake, and has no weight behind it. None of the kills do. The moments that they get right are little shots like the one of the Bloodheart on the ground at the end, or the Bakwas cradling Butcher after their fight. There are artistic moments that catch your eye with a wash of different colors and lights, and an interesting angle. The soundtrack and the audio do a lot to take away from the film. The music is rarely chosen properly, and comes off as out of place and confusing. Like they're trying to force emotions that just aren't there, or making a joke out of the scenery. Like playing love music over Johnny and Clyde's every little moment together. It's supposed to make it feel romantic, but it ends up making it feel cheesy. The audio recording and mixing are also a big problem. The dialogue is often badly recorded with a little bit of an echo to it, or it is mixed too quietly amongst the music. It's hard to hear, and even when it's audible, it sounds far away. The music permeates the movie and overtakes every scene. At times it's catchy, and there's one great moment in the car between Locke and One Time, but often it competes with the dialogue for prominence and overtakes it completely. Overall, the experience was like a fever dream of a multiple car pileup. There are all these people getting out and they're losing their minds. Some of them are screaming, some of them are crying, and one guy is on the side of the road crying, laughing at his broken leg. There's a lot going on, tons of emotions to take interest in, and plenty to explore. But all the noise ends up coalescing into a dull, piercing hum that overtakes everything else. to the point that it's all you can hear. The excessive nature of the film ends up sapping all the time and effort away from the actual story, and thus it ends up a husk of a film without any of the parts that would make it whole, and no idea where to find them. It doesn't try anything new, and aside from a few artistic shots, really doesn't have much to offer. I'd give this one a pass. 3 out of 10. Remember guys, those are just my thoughts on the film. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'll holla back at you folks later.